Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun show. Today, we will be finally painting and making the Iron Golems that I have been wanting to make since we started this channel in reality.
We are starting with the figures from the Knights and Dragons set we showed on Tuesday. This one we've already given a base coat of rough iron from Army Painter. Wanted to try this paint out and see how it looks. And you'll probably notice this guy has some wires sticking out of his mouth. We'll go into that in just a moment. A little special edition. And the little guy really wanted these knight helmets to have visors, so he milliputted a visor, and it's just about done drying, and so I will primer it tomorrow and we'll finish this one off camera, but you'll get to see it in all its glory at the end of the month. We're also making
two statues.
The bases are actually from Hearst Arts molds. I've had these just kicking around for a while, so instead of using a bottle cap or maybe even an empty spool of thread as the bases, I thought, why not give them something a little classier. A little something on there. What that is, it's gone now. But yes, these two figures from the Knights and Dragons set are just itching to be doorway statues or something like that. They're just too perfect for it. Again, we will be cutting off these spearheads and giving them something a little bit more ferocious. These don't look like you could, frost a cake with, let alone stab somebody. So I'll be dry brushing these while he's going to dry brush this one. The wires.
How bad is this brush?
It's perfect for dry brushing. I'll be using that one if you don't mind.
Well, yeah, it's perfect for dry brushing. But
the wires are actually going to be, if any of you recall from the Monster Manual, Iron Golems have a breath weapon. So we are going to take this gigantic bag of polyfill that will probably last us a lifetime, that we use
We'll probably get one more. We'll probably need to get like one more.
Which comes with this stuff that we've used for bonfires and smoke and other things like that.
Which we've shown in videos before.
Right.
We haven't made them.
We haven't made them in a video, but maybe we'll make a video someday. But other people have done it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of uses for them. Well, and by a bunch I mean one other one.
But basically, I'm just going to feed this in here and make a very small cloud of smoke. The wire is going to be to hold this fuzz up. Otherwise, it would eventually just droop and look really sad. But that's going to be later. We will try to do that at the end of the video.
I wanted to go on the ground anyways, but...
Yeah, I may have to twist it and do some things.
So I guess, is that it? Until we
I just wanted to show them what was going on. The wires look a little strange.
This is almost just a repaint.
Yeah, other than the little things that we've showed so far.
It's our simplest craft yet. It's the first video. It's the first video that I would actually consider to be a quick craft. Now, let's get on to dry brushing.
What do you want to start with? You're going to be using the gunmetal?
Yes.
Okay. That's like all you'll need. Well, you could work on the shield. See what I was talking about? It
doesn't have a pattern.
Well, it's got a bullseye. I mean, you can do that later, or you could start with the white and then put the base coats on later.
Does it need to have the two?
No, you can do something else later. But basically, he's just going to dry brush it with gunmetal from Army Painter. Oop, that's not gunmetal. Where is the gunmetal?
I'm holding it.
Oh, jeez. I'm getting old. Didn't even see that.
Sometimes I wish that the dog wouldn't be a dog.
He's always going to be a dog.
I know, but
until he's worm food.
Wait, what?
I'm going to be starting. Whoops! I should have shook that with the lid on.
Maybe I should have. Actually.
I'm going to be starting with ash gray for the statues. Then I'm going to go and hit it with a little bit of fang bone to give it sort of a little bit of beige, and then I'm going to go back over it with some more of the ash gray, and then a little bit of white. Just be very careful that you don't over silver that, because we do want that weird rough iron to show through. And I'm probably just going to work on one of the statues, just so we can. Oh, that's still too thick. And I can always go back over this with a dark wash if it's too thick and too gray. But I want it to look like an old statue. You always do when you're painting statues. I've seen other people do something similar to this in their videos and in their battlefields and things like that. It's a little thick there. But like I said, this is going to be a really quick craft video. We've done a lot of the groundwork already, and I always like to go against whatever grain there is when I'm dry brushing, just to make sure that I don't have sort of obvious brush lines.
Is this good?
Oh yeah, I like the way that's turning out.
You can still see the rough iron beneath it, but it's...
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. Oh, you know what we forgot? The other golem miniatures we wanted to show.
Very easy to bring.
Yeah. Just to give you guys an idea why we're actually making golems. When there are so many golems out there.
We've said it before. In fact, this was... I brought this up many months ago. I think it was back in like 2020 when I brought this up.
Oh yeah.
The first time I brought up making golems so many times.
Yeah, the golem miniatures that we'll show you in just a moment are just not what we're looking for when it comes to, you know, basically a fantasy Dungeons and Dragons setting. They're either too steampunk, too sci-fi, or in some cases even too Egyptian, which was kind of funny, I thought.
Yeah, there's no... Okay, I'm done with this guy. I almost got too much silver. Is that good? Or did I mess up?
Did you get his... right here on his legs where your fingers were? There's a little spot. Otherwise?
I'm okay with there being spots just to show the rough iron.
Okay.
Like how there's some spots on his head, but does the rough iron still show?
Yes, it does. It does. That's exactly what we want. And if we don't, you know, when it
dries... I think the best way to is to finally bring... Do I bring the...
Yeah, bring them. Leave the one you're holding here, though, so you have two hands, because there's quite a few golem miniatures to show
I
off.
really want you to bring one of each.
Yeah.
In fact, you've seen 2 of the golems.
Well, I'm sure most of the people have seen all of them, except maybe...
videos.
Yeah, except the old Egyptian, and I believe they're Ralpartha golems that I've had for a long time. Don't want to show my age there, but they're pretty old. They're probably close to 30-year-old miniatures.
Okay, I have them.
Those are the Whiz Kids.
Yes.
You forgot the Reaper. Oh, jeez. Sneaky guy.
These are, well, they're still small, but ignoring size because there was a different scale. This is extremely just futuristic. I mean, yes, it would have been possible to make. I just don't think this is what an Iron Golem would have looked like. Yes, I painted it this way, but even if I didn't, it would still look futuristic. These are Egyptian, which wasn't what we would have been looking for.
Yeah, those are the Ralpartha golems. I don't know what they were thinking. You know, because back then everybody went by the illustrations in the original Monster Manual, way back, and it looked more Greek than Egyptian. So why they went with that route, I'm kind of, you know, well, I guess I'll never know, you know. most
And
of the people
finally, this one.
from Reaper
Reaper.
Bones.
It's probably my favorite looking, but it's definitely not an Iron Golem.
Yeah, it looks a little too sci-fi or steampunk. I would have no problems throwing that in a Traveler game or, some sort of, dystopian future,
Really, any
steampunk.
futuristic setting.
Yeah, to me,
Yeah,
it's
also,
a little
like,
more, Mad Max looking or something like that.
Technically, any of these could work in a medieval setting, except for these. These wouldn't, because they're just Egyptian.
Right.
But any of these would work. I just don't think this is what you would have. You would probably, like, I've always pictured Iron Golems as looking just like a knight, but bigger.
Yeah, I think that's, maybe someone else out there has done that, but I have no knowledge or no memory. And I know a lot of miniature companies, and I've seen a lot of miniatures in my time, and I just can't think of one that really just looked like a giant suit of armor. That's what the technology would be. That's what I think they would shoot for. Maybe the wizard who made them would have had a little bit more imagination. Not too bad.
And there are multiple different types of armor, like the one I threw on the ground a while ago. Isn't the type that I used here for the visor. I should probably wash this off, right?
Yes, please. And can you hand me the fang bone? I want to give a little of that. Oh, I got it right here in front of me.
Also, why is it when
it's
you're
not
washing
working
paint,
right.
sometimes there's like a line of that color?
All the way down at the ferrule,
Yeah.
and you just can't get it out.
Yeah, is that why it's like that?
Yeah, I think it's just physics. It just gets pushed up there, or it acts like a sponge and gets sucked up there.
Well,
But
the soap water affects it relatively easily.
Yeah, if any of you have a really good paintbrush cleaning technique you want to share with us, I'd appreciate it. Because I've tried everything from vinegar, awesome, and some even really strong paint removers that just tend to destroy the brushes. I've had a lot of paintbrushes lately just completely start to fall apart.
So short, it can't actually fit in the paintbrush washer. Okay, it can, but barely. I don't think it goes all the way.
I might have to just raise the level of awesome that we're using right now. That's how I clean my paintbrushes. Either just put them in some dish soap right after painting them, or I will drop them in a paintbrush cleaning holder and leave them there overnight or longer.
Okay.
But if you guys have a tried and true, trusted method of cleaning paintbrushes, please let me know, because
Is that that's the fang bone?
yeah, I like the way it looks.
Yeah, it's from the Shadow Himself Creature of the Void paint set.
Yes, it is. I think
But it's far better than skeleton bone in every way, because skeleton bone is green. Well, it's not green, but to me it looks greenish. Don't know why, it just does. That might just be the bottle. Not sure.
Yeah, sometimes paint has a very different look when you get it out of the bottle than in the bottle for some reason.
Yeah, but it looks good.
You like it?
I wouldn't have expected that color to be used, but it definitely looks good. I mean, I probably wouldn't have used it, but
Yeah.
I do think it looks good.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a little bit different, look than, because the typical black and gray, adorns so many of our dungeon pieces and things.
It just looks too...
Yeah, I might not even need to go over it with anything but a little bit of white.
I don't even think that's necessary.
Yeah,
I would use it.
maybe, for some bird poop on his shoulders. I was thinking about that earlier. It's like, how come nobody ever does that? I have yet to see a statue outdoors that doesn't have
Probably
that.
because they wash them.
Yeah, but I've been outdoors and seen statues of, things that, you would think that they would wash, and yet shoulders covered in bird poo. But we're getting off track here. I'm going to or even finish this one up and see if I can kind of, you know what, I might not be able to do that because, is that paint still wet on your golem there? Is he still kind of wet?
Yeah.
Okay, I might not be able to put the smoke cloud in there, but...
Wait.
Just... Oh, did you do the sword?
Yeah, I did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, he's good enough.
Okay. 'Cause I don't want to ruin the paint job by jumping on it and giving it too much. Fingerprints and stuff. What do you grab now? You want to try it? Try your hand at it? Just try to spiral it, you know, make it sort of cone shaped because it is a breath weapon.
You know, I think it's going to be very difficult to get it thin enough to look like it's going out of there.
Yep, I want a little bit more. And hopefully the spray paint and everything like that will hide the wires because that's the last thing we want is the wires to show through. But we're going to give it the breath weapon. We're going to give it a light dusting of black spray paint, and then some sort of noxious green, sort of stereotypical poison cloud looking color.
No, actually, I like separated like poison clouds and stuff. I like them being yellow.
You know what? We could try that.
Like the green dragon, I'm painting all the stuff yellow just to separate him from the black dragon that we will probably we'll do one eventually. But I have a suspicion that the Draculus is going to be a black dragon, and I kind of want to paint him as one anyways.
Yeah, I think so. Really looking forward to getting those dragons in the mail. All right, folks. I think that'll do it for now.
Does this look good?
Oh yeah, it actually does. And once we put the spray paint on it,
but it does kind of go over the sword.
once we put the spray paint on it, it'll give it a little bit more density, and we can actually maybe manipulate and mold it a little to...
I feel like we should try to use the airbrush on it. Like test the airbrush.
Maybe this weekend we might just do that.
I think that's what we should do. Just so that it's easier to... Yeah, because as soon as we saw this, like the pose of this one, we knew that that's what this one was going to be doing.
He had to be breathing. Let's put him in front right here. And then get a nice little parting shot of our quickest craft to date. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and let us know your opinions on golems in general, because, you know, with all the different golems that are out there, iron golems, not stone or flesh or other things like that.
And technically scarecrows are now considered golems.
No, they've been considered a golem for decades. But
well, they weren't considered golems in
first edition AD&D, no. It was later on, I think. Maybe, I don't know, I'll have to look it up.
You know, I was talking about like back before D&D they weren't.
Yeah.
Because golems were still a thing.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I think the original ones were clay.
Clay golems?
Yeah, I think that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But there you have it.
So, that has been today's episode of the Shadow and Sun Show. You saw what we did.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video.
Yeah.
We'll be back Sunday with a painting video of painting the green dragon.
As I mentioned before.
And we hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.
Good night.